doctor had a look at him yet? Mr. Walker's doctor?
Oh, yes, love, yes, he's with him now. He shouldn't be too long. Oh, how is he, Doctor? It's nothing organic, is it?
Everything's organic, Mrs. Walker. Now,
Excuse me.
Now, I want you to get this prescription made up as soon as you can.
Yes, of course.
And on no account allow him to get up until I say so. He should have been in bed days ago.
Well, I told him, Doctor. I told him he was doing himself more harm than good. It's not serious, is it?
Well, he has a virus infection, but we can do something about that.
Oh, good.
But is your husband worried about anything, Mrs. Walker?
Worried?
Yes, worried. He seems to be under a strain. A rather severe one, I would have thought.
Well, of course, Jack always worries about being ill. Particularly at Christmas. After all, this is our busiest time, you know.
Well, I know Mr. Walker's conscientious, but he's always struck me as having a good sense of perspective towards the business. You're sure there's nothing else?
I don't think so, Doctor, no.
Look, you better take one of these before you go to bed. It's about time you had a good night's sleep. I'll look in again on Christmas Eve. Now, remember, Mrs. Walker, keep him in bed.
Yes, of course I will. Thank you for calling, Doctor. Bye-bye.
Ah, he's a nice fella, isn't he, Dr. Aston? Always got time for you, like. You know, they shouldn't have to worry about money, should they? Not doctors. I told my Stan I didn't agree with that at the time. Oh, what colour are your pills?
Green. Sleeping pills, actually.
Oh, aye. Of course, that's only plastic, you know. All melts away in your tummy. Then all that white stuff goes into your central nervous system. Oh, Mr. Walker, all right?
Well, he's got to stay in bed for a day or two. He's got a virus.
Oh, I am pleased. Oh, you know what I mean. I'm pleased it's not serious. Still, spoiled your Christmas for you both, doesn't it?
Yes, but I must say I'd rather have him up there where he ought to be rather than struggling along down here, and he would, you know, if I'd let him.
Yeah. Oh, wait, what about your victuallers, do? You're not going to go?
Well, Mr. Walker insists that I do. What with being Lady President, you know, and all that.
By yourself?
Afraid so.
Oh, you could do with an escort, couldn't you?
Well, it's such short notice, and I don't really know anyone unattached. Well, not round here, that is.
No. I could lend you my Stan.
Mr. Ogden?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd clean him up a bit first.
Well, it's very considerate of you, dear, but actually, I don't think it'd be fair to him. It's a very formal function, you see, and I don't really think Mr. Ogden would enjoy himself.
No, he is dog rough, isn't he?
You know, Mrs. Ogden, there is one person in the street who could escort me.
Oh? Oh?
Well, I'd better broach it to him first, hadn't I? He'd do very nicely.
Anything?
No,
Oh, what's that then?
just a letter from my first husband.
You what?
My first husband. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you before we got married because, you see, well, the divorce hadn't come through.
It's for me.
Well, you are my first husband, aren't you?
Yeah, and there better not be any more either.
Why, what would you do about it?
I'll belt you for a start.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, it's the receipt for the house deposit.
Oh, let's have a gander. Hey, by the way, do we get our money back if out goes wrong with it?
Returnable, subject to contract.
Ew. I still think it's a shame, though, you know.
What is?
Well, I need to leave all this here just to go into a lovely big new house all of our own. Hey, stop there. I might get to like it.
You're going to be late for work, you know.
Well, I'm going.
I tell you what, you can leave the breakfast things. I'll clear them away for you.
Oh, I should just... Thank you very much, darling. It's very, very kind of you. And chin up. You'll pull through. Trot.
So long, love. It's blooming salt. Am I?
Merry Christmas.
Hello, sister-in-law. Is that kidding?
Oh, did you that fellow, wasn't there?
Hello, mate.
Come on, les classes, eh?
Oh, now then, don't tell me. That's French for, come on, les classes, right?
Right, and it means what does it feel like to be loaded?
Very nice, thank you. What does it feel like to have 4 weeks off for Christmas? That's English, for you've got it with jam on it.
Oh, it's a bit boring, as a matter of fact.
Oh, why don't you come to the match tomorrow afternoon?
Tomorrow?
Yeah, benefit match at County's ground.
Oh, could do.
Hey, I don't want you to let me down, though. I don't want you shouting, pass it to me, Dom.
Hey, watch it. They used to be able to rob you of the ball pretty craftily.
Oh, yes, you did, didn't you?
Yep.
I bet you were dead sorry when I started to walk.
Mr. Petty, listen, what happens to all these boxes?
Well, they repulp them to make more boxes.
What, so that we can stack them up here again?
It's about the size of it. Why?
Nothing, just gives something to look forward to, that's all.
Good morning, Mrs. Barlow. Say, I'm going to say it again. Good morning, Mrs. Barlow.
Oh, you mean me?
Does it still sound funny, love?
Well, it does really. It sounds as though it's someone else, you know.
I know. It took me months to get used to being called Mrs. Walker.
Yeah, I suppose Barlow's not a bad swap for Ogden, really. Hey, do you know, I once knew a lad called Stanley, so I says to him one night, what's your second name? He says, go to bed. I said, you will, I'm not tired, you cheeky beggar. He said, no, that's my second name. I thought, right, well, I'm not marrying you. I mean, some people have got funny names, haven't they?
Ah, Petty for one. I've had a few nicknames in my time, I can tell you.
I'm a Beaumont. B-E-A-U. Beaumont.
Oh, French extraction, eh?
Well, I have heard it on very good authority that we came over with the Normans.
Oh, well, you must have quite a bit of blue blood in your veins, then.
I've not really given it much thought.
Oh.
But now you mention it, I suppose there must be just the drop or two. Very prominent in the peerage, you know, the Beaumonts.
There you are, then.
And before the war, well, the Beaumonts were very big in Clitheroe.
You got any blue blood in your lot, Homer?
Blue blood? You mean best bitter?
Do you know, Mr. Petty, the summer before last, Mr. Walker and I went to Chatsworth House. And as I entered the great drawing room, I had the most uncanny feeling that I'd been there before. In another life. A more gracious period.
You should have seen me dad when we took him to Carnarvon.
You think your dad would be interested in castles?
It's not. My mum told him that he was a big Welsh boozer. You should have seen him when he got off the coach. Stood there rubbing his hand. Look at the size of that pub. He says it's like a flaming castle.
What happened when he found out?
He never did. Some bloke told him there was all shut on Sunday.
It was probably Regency, you know. I have a great simpatico for Regency.
Oh, he went on and on about it for weeks. He said that pub's that big, they must make the deliveries by ship.
Now, stop having me on, Herman, and go and see if there's anyone in the shop.
Why were you expecting it this time?
Lord Derby.
Well, fetching his empty spat.
And see, they're all ours.
Right. I'll tell you one thing, though. Oh, on the way back, coming through Betsy Coed, my dad went half sick, right in the middle of a little rustic bridge.
Ma!
I'm going.
I really must apologise, Mrs. Walker. Now then, what can I do for you?
Well, I wanted to ask you something.
Yes?
Would you like to take me out?
Eh?
Out?
Well, I've not given it much, where?
To the licensed victualler's ball?
Oh, I see. Mr. Walker's not up to it, eh?
Well, he has to stay in bed for a day or two. Now, what do you say? I think I can promise you a very pleasant evening.
Yes, I think I might like that very much, Mrs. Walker. Yes, I've not been to a do of that nature, not since the last regimental. Is it dress uniform?
Well, preferably. You know, as president of the ladies' committee, I shall be in an evening gown wearing my chain of office.
Right, well, I'll get myself togged out this afternoon. It is tomorrow, isn't it?
Yes, 7:30, carriages at 1.
Oh, carriages. Right, I'll pick you up at 1900 hours then.
Oh, yes, yes. Tell me, Mr. Petty, do you Velita?
With precision, Mrs. Walker, with precision. As regimental sergeant major, I used to open the dance with the colonel's good lady. Oh, yes.
Oh, good. It's always been rather a favourite of mine. And Mr. Walker isn't much of a one for old-time dancing, or any time for that matter.
Oh, what? I'll dance you off your feet. Between the pair of us, we should cut quite a handsome dash.
Do you know, I believe we will. There is just one little point I'd like to raise, Mr. Petty.
Oh, what might that be, Mrs. Walker?
Well, tomorrow night,
Yes.
just for tomorrow night, could you call me Anne?
Have you sent a card to Tom and family?
Oh, weeks ago. God bless you all at Christmas night, it said. It had a little crib on it.
Oh, very nice.
Of course it's nice. I wouldn't have sent it if it hadn't been. Well, go on.
What, Ina?
Minnie Cole, you know very well. You're busting your garters to tell me something.
Mr. Walker's had the doctor to him this morning.
Yes.
Dr. Aston.
Oh, I know him. He gave me my vaccination. He gives Ethel Garside a bottle of coloured water every Friday night.
For a chest.
There's nought wrong with her chest. She only goes down there for the company. What's up with Jack Walker?
Well, I don't know, Enid. They didn't call me in for a second opinion.
Hey, that's on a figure in cheek in your old age, aren't you? Right, plan a campaign. Have you taken back your empty stout bottles?
Oh, yes, as soon as I saw the doctor's car.
I suppose you couldn't go back and say you'd forgotten something.
Oh, no, I can't do that again. I've cased it once.
Right, we'll rendezvous here at 12 and we'll slip in when it's quiet.
Wilco.
And what have you been watching? Hey, and if that's about a treasure of his Christmas box, he's had it.
Hello, Mrs. Sharples, Mrs. Caldwell. Oh, it's bitter out this morning.
Hey, before you go any further, who's looking after them twins?
Ken. Oh, I think he's learned his lesson, Mrs. Sharples.
Well, I think you played your hand very well with that young man.
How do you mean?
Treating him to 2 or 3 weeks injured silence. I'd have done just the same myself. I quite enjoyed it. Faced like a wet wakes week. Very nice.
You make marriage sound like a battle.
Well, it is.
Well, I think it's a partnership.
Oh, heck, she'll be telling us next it should be a question of give and take between them.
Well, it should be.
You come and see me again in 10 years' time. I haven't been to meet me maker. Listen, lass, I'll tell you about fellas. Men'll give what they think fit. No more, no less. Women should take out that's going as much as they can when they can and not let on about it.
You make marriage sound terrible.
Aye, well, it might be God's holy ordinance, but I think Oud Nick lent him pencil when he drew it up.
Oh, Ena, it's nearly Christmas.
Those whom God have joined together, let no man put asunder. Who found the loophole in that for a start? Hey, what you come for?
Hmm?
Well, you must have come for summer.
Oh, yes. Can you and Mrs. Caldwell come to dinner on Boxing Day?
What, at your house?
Yes, it was David's idea in the first place. You and Mrs. Caldwell and Uncle Albert and perhaps Mrs. Midgley. All the senior citizens, as Ken says.
I think I prefer old age pensioners.
I thought we were going to have some of your
Right,
turkey.
we accept.
Oh, good. Right, well, that's fine. I'll get back to the twins.
And you can tell your David I think it's a very nice thought.
And from me too, Valerie.
Right.
There aren't.
There go, I'll never fathom it out, never.
What, Ena?
Why you always have to open your mouth at the wrong moment?
Why, what have I done?
Why, what have you done telling her about our turkey here? Give me a hand with these.
Well, it's true, isn't it?
Of course it's true, and it's also true the more we eat out, the longer it'll last.
Oh, yes.
Mind you know what's behind this Astigans out, don't you?
No, not really.
Oh, well, I'd like to think it was a bit of Christian charity, but there's more to it than that. It's that there David Barlow and that new wife of his trying to get the other side of all that totlock.
Why?
For sneaking off and getting married in an off-licence, that's why.
Are you sure you can manage to weave that tinsel up on your own?
It's a bit of a struggle then, but I keep fit. Blowing the skin off the odd rice pudding. Now, wait a minute. Don't tell me, let me guess. You're now going to say, why don't I do all the odd jobs around the house by myself instead of getting you and Jerry in, right? And then I shall reply, because I'm a school teacher and I believe in every man to his trade. Right, you carry on?
On a desert island, mate, you would be useless.
Oh, I quite agree. And so would you. Modern man's dilemma, Len, knowing less and less about more and more.
While you were teaching a lot of alphabets to a lot of monkeys, I could build myself an house.
I don't think you could.
I could, mate.
You know, Len, if every mineral known to mankind was stacked up on that island, what could you invent, eh? Modern drugs, aeroplanes, television, glass paper. Just think about it.
You know it all, don't you?
No, I don't. That's just what I'm saying.
I could invent something, you know. I've only got to think about it for a while.
You could probably make a crude Iron Age tool or something. But I doubt if you could get margarine out of a lump of coal.
You trying to say that I'm some sort of Stone Age man-like?
Yeah. You know, individually, I don't think any of us have progressed all that much. Not in all-round technical knowledge.
You don't have to talk all over the cobblers when you start, you know.
You know, this is all very academic, Mr. Fairclough, but we get paid for putting shelves and cupboards up, and I'd rather us have the work than a load of these do-it-yourself merchants.
It's coconut buns here. I thought you'd be working up a sweat there. What are you doing?
Where are you going about? No, you do. I do a bit of thinking and all, you know, at the right time.
Oh, he's not just a coconut buns. He thinks. Now, what do you think about Jerry boy?
Well, only last week I was thinking about Thed hunters.
You what?
The Thed hunters, you know, in Java and them places.
I'm not sure, but I thought you just said Thed hunters.
Oh, well, I did.
Well, what's Thed hunters got to do with inventing things?
Well, not directly, but I mean, it makes you think, doesn't it?
Not me, it doesn't, no.
Well, I mean, look, there's blokes in Java running around with spikes up their noses, hunting heads who've never seen a white man.
You get away.
Oh, and then there's Yanks and Russians putting rockets up on moon. Well, I mean, there's a big discrepancy there.
Well, what the hell do you expect them to put them on the moon? Shrunken heads? Because they can have yours and his for a start.
It's all right, Jerry. I know what you mean.
I thought you might, yeah.
Anybody want a cup of tea?
Oh, I'll have one, thanks,
No.
Val.
No, not for me. I'm going to invent myself a pint of mixed at Throver's.
2 milk stouts when you've got the time.
Right away, Mrs. Sharples. Well, it'll soon be here, won't it? Christmas?
Yes.
You
They didn't make you president for nothing, did they? To get very observant, didn't she?
You must remind me on Boxing Day, by the way, I've got some very nice port downstairs, and I would like you and Mrs. Caldwell to take a glass with me, as usual. Thank you, dear, too.
Right. Oh, by the way, I see you had the doctor to Mr. Walker.
Yes, that's right, Mrs.
Yeah, about
Sharp.
20 minutes, I believe.
Well, I didn't take a note.
Is he very badly?
It's just a virus. Will you excuse Mrs. Sharp, I must see to Len.
Hey, could you invent out? Huh? You know what I mean. Invent something.
Well, what do you want?
Oh, thanks very much. A pint.
1 pint.
Oh, I don't mean that.
You've got a very generous nature.
Oh.
How's Jack, Annie?
Well, he's got to stay in bed for a day or two.
Well, if you want some umping doing, you know what to come to, don't you?
Thank you very much, Len.
He'll be all right in a day or two, then, eh?
Well, yes and no. Actually, it's not quite as simple as it sounds.
I thought it was just a virus infection.
Well, yes, but actually, Jack...
Hey, Annie. What's up with Jack?
Well, I don't know how to tell you, but I've got to tell somebody.
Is he down badly?
Yeah, well, it's not that, Len. He's being blackmailed.
Blackmail?
And it's driving him mad.
Who's doing it? Annie, love, who's doing it?
Frank Turner.
Frank
That bloke who
Turner?
brought her round the other night.
Except that he didn't buy it, Jack did.
Look, Mrs. Walker, you needn't tell if you don't want to, but what's he got on, Jack?
Well, he came in here for a drink when Jack and I were at David and Irma's reception.
Yeah.
Yes, well, Jack's brother slipped out and Lucille served him, and she's only 16.
And he's blackmailing you because of that.
Well, you see, if the authorities found out, Jack could lose his license.
And he's worried himself sick.
Well, it's just going on and on, and we don't know what to do.
Flipping heck.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah.
Tonight.
Captain, well, flipping heck, I've not been gone that long.
I want to talk to you, mate.
Right, well, I'll leave you to it then.
No, you as well. Shut the door.
Well, what's the big mystery then?
Jack Walker's being blackmailed.
Blackmailed?
Yeah, that's why he's worried sick. He's half out of his mind.
Who told you?
Annie.
Well, you don't think she might be dramatising it a bit, then?
No, it's gospel, is this, mate?
Well, who's pulling the black on him then?
Frank Turner, that bloke who's been hanging around, the poking up.
What, him that butt around till the night?
Yeah. Only Jack Walker paid for it.
Well, flaming heck, the rotten devil. Well, he wants fixing, he does.
Yes.
Why? Blackmail, I mean.
You know the day that your kid got married?
Yeah.
Lucille served him with a drink in the pub.
And he found out how old she was.
You can hardly go to the bogies over a story like that now, can you?
Bit dicey, isn't it?
Well, what are you going to do then?
You're going to do nothing. Stan and me are going to do it.
Oh, what?
We're going to do a clog dance on Frank Turner's face.
Ah, very good. That'll stop him. The lousy beggar.
What about you, teacher?
Well, what about me?
Aren't you going to give him one of your lectures, tell him what a naughty boy he's been?
For anything else, Len, yes. But not blackmail. It's all yours, mate.
Does Christmas make you sad, Ema?
Well, it might if I let it.
I always think of people who've passed away.
Yes.
I can remember Father Christmas coming when I was little.
Yeah?
Of course, it was my dad, really.
Yes. Listen to that.
Oh, isn't it nice?
No. Ah, Ben, where do you come from?
Please, Miss, from Bessie Street.
Come on in. Come on, right in. Oh, then you're one at Jackson's, aren't you?
Yeah.
Which one?
Peter.
How come you come on a bit? Alston and Bowman, he first saw the light. What's your name?
Roy Bradley.
Let him talk for himself.
Roy Bradley.
And what's your name?
Frank Adamson.
And where do you come from?
Bessie Street.
I know that. Where were you born?
Stockwood Road.
Well, where did your father come from?
Burnley.
Oh, can't get a straight answer out of them. Now, listen, who knows once in Royal David City?
I think I do.
All right, well, then, man, don't stop arguing among yourself. Come on.
Once in Royal David City stood a lowly cattle shed where our mother lay.
No, you don't take it at that speed. It's not a boogie-woogie. Come on, round the piano. You make me sick. I thought you learned to sing at school. Ooh. Now then. Now sing up.
Once in Royal David City stood
Come on, sing up.
holy cattle shed, where on earth lay the baby in an angel for his bed. Mary was that mother mine, Jesus Christ, her little child.
There was 3 of them, very good King Wenceslas. And I really gave him $50.
Yeah, and all I ever got were a kick in the pants.
Hello, Nellie. I only heard this afternoon.
What's that, love?
Jackie down with something awful.
Oh, no, it's just a virus.
Yes, but what about tomorrow night?
Oh, I'm afraid he's out for that. Well, he'd like to come and have a little glass of sherry with me.
Oh, thanks. Now, just a quick one, because I must get back. Look, will you be going by yourself, then?
I'm just looking at those flowers. Aren't they beautiful? Just a touch of spring in winter.
Yes, I brought them for Jackie, of course.
How
Look.
nice of you. There we are, dear. Good evening, Mr. Petty.
Good evening, Mrs. Walker.
Can I get you something?
Mr. Lightail, please. Evening.
Hello.
Oh, Mrs. Walker, I got fitted out for the suit, all right.
Just a light ale, was it, Mr. Petty?
Yes, no difficulty there, you know. I'm a good standard fitting me.
That'll be 1 and 5pence, please.
Right, I'm looking forward to tomorrow, you know.
Are you going somewhere special?
Yes, licensed victualler's ball.
Right.
Nellie, dear, I don't want to rush you, but you know how busy your place gets, and it is 8:30.
Well, I'll see you tomorrow, then. Now, you give my love to Jackie, won't you? Tell him I'll pop in and see him during the day. Bye-bye, Anne. Bye-bye, Mr.
Petty.
Mr. Petty. Well, bye-bye, darling.
Bye-bye, dear. Thank you again for the flowers.
Oh, think nothing of it, love. Oh.
Aye, aye. Well, it's just walked in.
Oh, good evening, Mrs. Walker. Evening. I'll have a large whiskey, please.
Wish I could afford them.
Mr. Petty, can you spare a moment?
Oh, excuse me.
Yes.
Yes, what is it?
Cheers. I needed that. Is, Mr. Walker available?
Mr. Walker is ill in bed.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Nothing serious out. The fact is, Mrs. Walker, I need £2 rather quickly, and I'm sure you can deputise while Mr. Walker is, incapacitated.
Well, I can't give it you here over the bar.
I want it rather badly.
Well, then I suggest that you come back tonight at 10:30 when we're closing.
You what?
Not here.
2 pints, love.
I'm busy, can't you see?
Yes, all right then, Mrs. Walker. 10:30, and don't let me down. No, I don't think you'd risk that. Gentlemen. Hello, mate. Good. I'll say something, Irma.
Happy New Year.
Oh, I'm sorry, love. You know, I got delayed at the club. You know how it is.
No, I don't.
Well, it's Christmas, love. There's a lot of things to do.
You smell as if you've drunk most of them already.
One.
One what? One of each?
1 glass of bitter. Oh, Irma, I can only apologise.
Right.
Well, anything to eat, love? When you've finished reading, like. Oh, thanks, love. It's a chop, is it?
It was at 6:30. It's a museum piece now.
Oh, no, love. It looks lovely.
What's it like?
Oh, it's lovely.
Oh, I can't bear to watch you look like Charlie Chaplin eating his old boots.
What's he doing?
Will you have egg and chips?
Oh, anything, love. You know, I'm easy.
If you're late again, I'm leaving you.
Oh, you know what'll happen if you do that, love?
What?
Tribal law. I'm entitled to 4 goats and a cow back from your dad.
Good night.
Yeah.
Good night.
He's not been back.
You bet your sweet life he hasn't.
Why?
Well, I saw him on the clough about 10 minutes ago. I think he bumped into someone.
Wasn't you, was it, Len?
Me? I couldn't even find him. I've been looking for him for an hour.
And where's Mr. Ogden?
Well, the thing is, you see, we split up. I think Big Oggy got him.
You don't think he's done anything you'll regret, do you?
No, but I don't think you'll see that gentleman in this pub. There you are, me old mate. Huh? You had a bit of a dab hand with the old one, too, haven't you?
What are you talking about?
Duffing over Frank Turner.
Frank Turner? I've never even seen him.